Hi guys, how you doing? My name's Rob. If you haven't seen me before, I'm the owner of T1 Media. T1 Media is based in Tamworth and also Chichester. We've got two branches. We work on media, everything. So, for instance, if you wanted a website, if you wanted some photography, hosting, graphic design, stuff like that, there's lots of things that we can do. Also podcasts as well. So today I'm here to talk to you about websites. If you've got a company already, you probably already have a website. Chances are nowadays you may have one that you do yourself, or you may have one that is done by a professional web developer. Both of these options are really fine, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about how and what you can do to improve stuff. So for instance, let's have a scenario to start off with. I'm going to try and get you on the chat as well. So let's have a look at the live video on the chat, and if you've got any comments, please feel free to say hi in the comments and I'll try and answer any questions while I'm online. So for instance, you may have something like a Wix website or a GoDaddy website, something like that, which is perfectly fine. You may spend quite a lot of your time learning how to make your own website, if you're in a business, say for instance, I don't know, you manufacture something, or you do something which is quite time intensive anyway. Your free time, if you like, which is your kind of family time, holiday time, weekends, whatever you've got spare, is your time. So when you're learning to do a website, or when you're updating your own website, that time is eaten into. Now, the reason for this video today is to tell you all about how you can use that time more effectively. So say for instance you did a Wix website and you started setting it up and you built it. You didn't really know how to design a logo, or you haven't got any photos that look professional, so you go off and get them off the internet and use whatever Wix provide you with. But actually those pictures are probably not what you really wanted for your website. They're probably something that you've used just as a picture, just to sort of say what you're trying to say. However, if you used like a media company, handy I know, to take your photographs for you and to do your website for you, then everything is photographed and taken and built specifically for you, so nobody else will be using the same pictures. Also, your pictures will tell the proper story, rather than you having to settle for something that you probably weren't happy with in the first place. So, if you're using this time to build your own website and then you do it, I've got some statistics on how many websites there actually are in the world today, which you just will not believe. So, in the world today, I've got some notes in front of me. I'm not looking down and showing you my amazing hairstyle. If you've got a website, you are in the same ballpark as 1.74 billion websites. That is an astronomical amount of websites. Now, let's say that your website is here and then you've got 1.74 billion websites. You're not competing with all of them. The only thing you're competing with is your direct competitors. Now, if you're an online store and you deliver UK wide, then you're competing with all of the UK stores that do the same thing as you, which is manageable. However, if you are dealing with like an international e-commerce business, or something on the internet that you ship worldwide, then you are dealing with all of your competitors worldwide, which is a massive task. Now, I've had a look this morning and I'm prepared for once. There are 4.4 billion internet users, and people spend an average of 6 hours and 43 minutes per day on the internet. That's like worldwide. So in equivalent, 100 days of your life per year would be spent using the internet. Now, if you think of that in a sales kind of perspective, if you've got a product to show people, where are they going to go first now to find your product? So this is when it becomes important for you to understand how to get your product in front of those people in the most efficient way. Obviously, in the past we used to do like television, not television, sort of newspaper adverts and stuff like that. and that's still a very valid medium to advertise on. But the internet is becoming more and more popular every single day. You've seen things like TikTok, you've seen things like Instagram, Facebook. They all have advertising on them now. TikTok's one of the fastest growing platforms. You know, it may not be suitable for everybody, but it's certainly suitable for you know, a large majority of companies to advertise on. So have a look at the statistics on TikTok. You'd be amazed how many people use that platform every single day. So here's another statistic that's important for you to know. Google has 7 billion searches every day. So for instance, let's just, I don't know, say you've got a gardening business and your job is to go and tidy up people's gardens and, you know, general garden maintenance. So if you went onto Google and typed in, who can cut my lawn? Local gardeners. So local gardeners, for instance, I live in Tamworth, so if I typed in local gardeners, I would expect to see gardeners that are local to me, and I would also expect them to, you know, there'd be some kind of contact details there. I'd probably look down the first 2 or 3. If you're on sort of page 2 or 3 of Google, I don't think anybody's going to find you nowadays. So there's a number of factors that go into that. Firstly, in your website you need a thing called an SSL, which is a secure sockets layer, which gives you the little padlock at the top of your browser, which tells people when they're viewing your website that it's secure. You've been on a website before that it says this website is not secure. Also on Google now, when you search stuff, it says unsecure on the website. Now this is becoming ever more important. It counts towards your search engine listing as well, and it also gives your potential customer peace of mind that everything that they're viewing is secure and they're not going to lose their details to some hacker or something like that. So that's the number one thing. The website needs to be built in such a way that I searched for local gardeners or local garden maintenance or something like that. Imagine if you hadn't got those words in your website. So for instance, so you had a logo saying Rob's Garden Maintenance, and then it says, you know, we can cut your lawn, we can weed your borders, we can do a number of services, but you didn't actually mention in the website Garden Maintenance Tamworth or something like that. Now these kind of things are important. These are things that we know as professional web developers and, you know, a media company, but stuff that you probably wouldn't even think about if you were doing your own Wix website or your own GoDaddy website. So those kind of things really make a difference when it comes to being on the internet, because you can spend a monthly subscription on a Wix website. However, I personally believe, this is not just because we do sites, I personally believe if you're going to do something, you've got to do it right. So I'm going to use an analogy where, think about this, if you damaged your car and you were going to get it repaired, would you paint it yourself? You can go down to Halfords and get a spray can and have a go, but it's never going to be as good as if you paid the professional to do it. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. You can have a website. I want you to succeed with your website as much as possible. You know, there's ways that which we can help if you have got a Wix website, and we can help you update it and stuff like that. However, if you're going to go for it and you're going to go for it online, you can do it properly, you know, and have a really, really good go at it. For instance, if you look at blog statistics, I just looked at that this morning. There are 5.7 million blog posts every day of our lives nowadays, which is phenomenal. If you don't know what a blog is, it's basically a story that tells you about something. People use blogs in websites all the time. For instance, I've got a website called robprice.co.uk. I sell online music training. So I did a blog, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago about, is it difficult to learn to play music? And that was the question. And then I went through the answer. So the whole point of that blog is to answer that question. So if somebody goes onto Google and types in, is it difficult to learn how to play music? They're going to find that blog. That blog takes them to the website, and lo and behold, on the website there are things that you can buy to learn to read, to play music and stuff like that. So all of these things are combined. I work with currently like hotels, fitness professionals, sporting professionals, boxing, yoga companies, all sorts of different aspects of business, and they basically sort of work on a monthly basis with T1 Media and get some advice on how to run their blog, and they send all of the stuff to our company, and then we implement that in their websites. So you know that those companies can then get on with their job and not have to worry about what's happening on the website, because what classically happens is you'll pay a web developer X amount of pounds to build your website, and then they'll go away and then everything will be forgotten. Now Google goes, yeah, this is like a conversation actually. This is the best way to describe it. If you start off a really exciting conversation with somebody and then stop talking, they're not going to be interested. Yeah? So with Google it's the same. So if you build a website and then you just leave it, Google goes, oh, I'm not interested in that anymore, and your listing just goes like this down the list until eventually it's not there anymore. Where we come in is you pay monthly to get your website updated, send us the content, you don't have to worry about anything else. We do that for you so that this content is new, it's creating a new conversation with Google. Google goes, oh, actually this company, Rob's Garden Maintenance, is up to date. You know, they're publishing stuff all the time, so their website must be live, their company must be going. That's all Google's got to go on, really. So if you've got an out-of-date website, maybe Google thinks that you're not even in business anymore. You know, if it says copyright 2010 on the bottom of it, how's Google meant to know that your business is still live? And these kind of things are things that you probably haven't even got time to think about. Please don't think that I'm talking to a specific individual here. This is a sort of blanket message, because obviously there's people at home that some of them would be fantastic at building their own websites and can do it all and stuff like that, but the sort of majority, I would say, would probably like to be better on the internet. So the point of me being here is to explain that you can be better on the internet. It doesn't need to cost a fortune. This is an interesting statistic. I've got all my little notes here. Look, $500 million is lost every year due to slow hosting. Now, I don't know if you know, if you've never talked about websites and hosting before, hosting is it's the computer that your website is on. It's like a car park space for your website. You normally pay a monthly or yearly subscription for that to exist, and basically the better companies that you use and the better servers, the faster that your website will load. Now, if you have a website that loads slowly, people nowadays are used to instant access everything. So with the instant access everything, if your website takes 10 seconds to load, they think that like 70% of your potential conversion rate, like your visitor to customer, is lost in those 10 seconds. So the faster that your website loads, the better that your conversion rate will be. And that's a proven statistic, so I was quite surprised at that this morning. This is another statistic that's important about being on the internet. You're probably already on the internet, but now, as of today, 40% of the world's population are on the internet. In only 1995, which is just like 25 years ago, less than 1% of the world's population are on the internet. So imagine that, if we go, you know, we've grown as 39% of the world has gone on the internet in 25 years. So it's pretty much guaranteed, I would say, within the next 25 years that, you know, probably all of the world is going to be on there. As an example, in the last quarter of 2019, just last year, 359 million domain names registered. That's just in the last 3 months of 2019. So that is absolutely massive. So you've had a lot of statistics there. If you imagine, when you're searching for anything, where is the first place you go nowadays? You don't go to a telephone directory, you don't look in a newspaper, you go online. So the better your website is, and the more functional and more purposeful, the more attracted your potential client is going to be to becoming your customer, which is massive. So with all that said, you can go over to our website, which is t1media.co.uk. There's lots of stuff on there about websites. There's also lots of stuff about the other services that we provide. All of the services that we do are based around digital services. So, for instance, you can have a website, you can have videos to go on that website, you can have photography to go on that website, you can publish podcasts, you can have all your graphic design done. There's a huge range of services available. Please go over to the website and take a look. If you have any questions at all about websites, we're free to answer. You know, if you've got a query about your own website and you just wanted to ask a question, please do so. I'll be happy to help you. If you've got any questions about anything to do with web related stuff and you wanted to know a little bit more, or you wanted to start a conversation with us about maybe, you know, talk about us developing something for you, then we can do that as well. If you've got any questions about anything to do with T1 Media, ask away. I hope you enjoyed the live broadcast this morning. This is my first one. I was a little bit nervous this morning, but actually I felt okay about it. I'm glad that you've watched and thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.